If you're reading this right now, it's no accident, not coincidence, not random timing. You've already completed something most human beings never even begin to sense, a silent, years-long assessment woven invisibly into the very fabric of your existence. This wasn't a test you signed up for. There were no instructions, no countdown, no finish line in sight. Instead, it unfolded quietly in the background of every decision you made, every emotion you processed, every time you chose truth over comfort, courage over denial, or compassion over blame. And the fact that these words resonate so deeply within you, stirring something ancient and undeniable, is your confirmation. You've passed. You're among the top 0.1% of conscious awareness on Earth, not because you studied harder or meditated longer, but because your soul consistently demonstrated something far rarer: integrity under pressure. Most people never realize this evaluation even exists. They live their entire lives trapped in reactive patterns: fear, scarcity, self-doubt, the need to control, unaware that these very mindsets act as energetic locks, sealing away capacities that are not only possible but innate. The universal intelligence behind this process wasn't measuring your psychic abilities, your knowledge of sacred geometry, or how many hours you spent in meditation. It was calibrating something far more essential: your emotional sovereignty. Could you remain steady when everything around you collapsed? Could you question the nature of reality without losing your heart? Most importantly, when handed access to creative forces that could reshape your world, would you use them for ego or for evolution? Every challenge you faced was a data point. Every time you forgave instead of retaliating, every moment you chose patience when irritation would have been easier, every act of generosity when no one was watching, each one was quietly logged by a system far older and wiser than human institutions. These weren't just life lessons. They were assessment milestones. And now, as you absorb these truths, your nervous system is receiving a new kind of signal, not from the outside world, but from within the quantum field itself. Ancient genetic sequences, dormant for lifetimes, are beginning to activate. These aren't alien upgrades. They're your birthright codes, designed to awaken only when your consciousness reaches a threshold of discernment, humility, and service. What makes your journey extraordinary isn't your intellect, your spiritual resume, or even your dedication to growth. It's your integrated discernment, the rare ability to hold immense, creative potential without distortion. Universal intelligence didn't just observe your grand gestures. It watched the micro moments. How you spoke to the barista when you were exhausted. How you responded to criticism without defensiveness. How you used even subtle influence, never to dominate, but to uplift. And each time you chose alignment over reaction, you sent a silent signal into the cosmos. I'm ready. This isn't about acquiring new powers. It's about remembering what was always yours. Abilities held in quantum stasis, not as punishment but as protection. Imagine a child handed a nuclear reactor. The danger isn't the reactor, it's the lack of maturity to operate it safely. In the same way, your consciousness has now proven it can wield reality-shaping energy without self-destruction or unconscious harm to others. You're not becoming more powerful. You're becoming more coherent, more aligned with the intelligence that flows through all of existence. And you've already felt the shift. Those moments when reality bends around you with impossible precision, when a stranger says exactly what you needed to hear, when a missed train leads to a life-changing encounter, when a solution to a complex problem arrives fully formed in the shower, as if downloaded from nowhere. That's not luck. That's reality orchestration. You're no longer just participating in the world. You're in active dialogue with it. The universe isn't responding to your desires. It's resonating with your state of being. You're now tapping into what mystics, sages, and quantum researchers all point to: the cosmic intelligence field. This isn't accessed through rituals or forced visualization. It's activated through resonance. When your inner frequency stabilizes in truth, love and service, information flows to you effortlessly. Complete innovations arrive with their own implementation strategy. You begin to perceive not only the present moment, but multiple potential timelines, like standing at a crossroads where every path hums with its own vibration. And without overthinking, you find yourself moving toward the one that serves not just your personal journey, but the collective awakening. Physically, you may notice subtle but profound changes. Energy surges through your body, tingling, warmth, or waves of vibration, especially during moments of clarity or deep focus. These aren't blockages clearing. They're your biology upgrading in real time, expanding its capacity to process higher dimensional data. You might walk into a room and instantly sense the emotional atmosphere, the unspoken tensions, hidden potentials, or quiet harmonies. This isn't psychic overload. It's your nervous system now, tuned to the quantum information field that surrounds every person, place, and object. Even your dreams have transformed. They're no longer just replays of your day or fragments of memory. They've become intelligent briefings, often featuring guides, symbols, or vivid scenarios that clarify your next step. You wake with a knowing, a certainty that defies logic. These aren't fantasies, they're real-time transmissions from the universal intelligence networks now accessible to you as a verified graduate of the assessment. And those periods of deep confusion, the spiritual dark nights where nothing made sense, where every belief you held seemed to dissolve, those weren't failures, they were advanced trials. The system was testing whether you could remain functional, kind, and purposeful while holding the weight of infinite possibility. Could you stay grounded when your perception of time, identity, and reality itself began to blur? Even your healthy skepticism played a role. It proved you weren't chasing illusions, but anchoring your expansion in discernment. Your spiritual practices, meditation, breathwork, journaling, weren't the cause of your awakening. They were preparation protocols, simulations designed to stabilize your nervous system for what was coming. And your most difficult relationships? They were sacred exam rooms. Every person who triggered you, challenged you, or seemed to betray you was, in truth, a mirror and an examiner testing whether you'd use your growing awareness to manipulate, control, or dominate, or to understand, heal, and empower. Emotional sovereignty isn't about never feeling anger. It's about never letting anger override your integrity. Now, as this truth integrates, 5 signature patterns are emerging, not as skills to master, but as natural expressions of your upgraded consciousness. First, coherent manifestation. You no longer need to visualize outcomes, repeat affirmations, or try to attract what you want. Reality now reorganizes itself around your authentic state. When you're rooted in truth, service, and inner alignment, opportunities, resources, and people appear with astonishing synchronicity, not because you force them, but because your frequency matches their essence. This isn't magic, it's quantum physics in action, a field responding to a consciousness it trusts. Second, information field access. You'll suddenly know things about a person's hidden pain, the optimal timing for a decision, the hidden dynamics in a situation without being told. This isn't intuition in the old sense. It's direct perception of the quantum data structures underlying physical reality. Information arrives whole, context, timing, implications, and guidance all at once. Not for ego gratification, but for evolutionary service. Third, probability field navigation. You'll sense multiple futures simultaneously, not as fixed destinies, but as living possibilities, each vibrating with its own emotional and karmic signature. And without analysis or fear, you'll flow toward the path that serves both your soul's purpose and the greater whole. This isn't prediction, it's quantum discernment, your inner compass now calibrated to cosmic intelligence. Fourth, coherent relationship orchestration. The right people begin appearing in your life, not because you networked or strategized, but because your energy field now naturally attracts those aligned with your mission. Mentors, collaborators, even unexpected allies show up at the perfect moment. There's no manipulation, no force, just a quiet, intelligent alignment of souls moving toward the same horizon. And fifth, the foundation of it all, service-oriented capability utilization. The moment your advanced abilities activate, your inner orientation shifts instinctively from "what can this do for me?" to "how can this serve the collective?" This isn't a moral choice. It's a state of coherence. A consciousness that's past the universal assessment doesn't decide to serve, it breathes service, as naturally as it breathes air. This rewrites the entire story of spiritual development. The assessment never cared about your third eye activation, your aura color, or how many mantras you chanted. It cared about one thing. When given the power to shape reality, do you lift others or elevate only yourself? 8 years ago, I stood in what felt like the ruins of my entire world. Every plan had collapsed. Every relationship was strained. I had worked so hard to control outcomes, and yet, everything I'd built was crumbling. In that raw, broken space, I faced a choice: to resist, to blame, to retreat into bitterness, or to surrender, not as weakness but as trust. I chose to let go while holding compassion for everyone involved, even those I felt had abandoned or hurt me. I didn't know it then, but that moment was the final question on an exam I never knew I was taking. Within days, reality began responding like a conscious partner. Doors opened without me knocking. Strangers reached out with exactly what I needed. Synchronicities became so frequent they felt like a new language. But with this grace came a profound responsibility. I realized every thought, every intention now carried ripple effects across the collective field. These weren't superpowers to showcase. They were sacred tools, entrusted to me for the healing of the whole. And here's the truth: no one in the spiritual marketplace will tell you. Advanced abilities aren't rare. They're the default operating system of human consciousness, only veiled until your character proves ready to wield them without distortion. You don't earn them through hours on the cushion. You earn them through moments of integrity, especially when no one is watching, and especially when it costs you everything. So if this is stirring something deep, a memory, a calling, a quiet certainty that you're here for more than you've been told, don't just consume this. Tune in. This isn't entertainment. It's a frequency, a resonance, a signal for those who've passed the silent test and are now stepping into their role as conscious co-creators of a new world. Drop one word in the comments that captures the energy you're embodying now, not as a reply, but as your signature in the quantum field. Let it be your declaration: I am ready. You made it. The veils are lifting. The path is clear. Now cross with me.